Hello everyone, my name's Hans, and if you've been following my work, you're probably wondering what's happening with ZitaFTP server because it's been a while since the last release. Well, I'm not actually going to talk about the ZitaFTP server because around Easter time I took a few days off to think about how things are going, where I'd like to go, and how I can do things better. And I've decided to get serious about higher productivity, so that means getting more done with less time because, well, I'm a father now, so I want time to spend with my wife and child. But at the same time, I'd like to get more regular releases out to you. I'd like to deliver more to you, and not just ZitaFTP server, but I have other projects too. So I've started on the first stage of that, and I've been working on a CICD pipeline for ZitaFTP server. Now, CICD stands for Constant Integration, Constant Deployment, which is a very fancy way of saying every time I push source code changes to the repository, an automated system will build it. You can run automated tests, you can build release packages, even deploy them. And once you've got that set up, it takes time to set up, but once you've got that set up, it can save you a lot of time. And in particular, like the first thing that's going to do for me is right now, I have it at the point where it does a complete rebuild of both the Windows and the Amiga version. So it doesn't matter which version I am actively working on at any given time. If I break the other one, for example, if I'm working on the Amiga version and I do something that breaks the Windows version, then I will know within a day. And that's very important because if I know within a day that something broke, everything I did is in my head. So I have a pretty good idea of where to look. Whereas if it's in there and it takes weeks and somebody else finds it, first they have to tell me about it and explain exactly what's going on. Then I have to go back and figure out when did it go wrong and why. So that alone should save me a lot of time. And then in future, I've already converted the script that builds the release archive with the installer for the Amiga from Amiga DOS to the Bash shell. And the reason for that is I would like to be able to have the release automated so that when it's ready, I can push a button and the version for every operating system that's supported gets built, uploaded to the website, and is available to people. I'm not quite there yet, but that's coming soon. In fact, I've got even further plans. I've noticed that writing release notes is kind of double work. I write the release note into the release notes text file, and then I write it again in the git commit message. So I think that can be automated. That's kind of lower priority, but I'll have a look at that later. I think the next release of ZitaFTP server is more important than that, to be honest. Anyway, the end result of that should be, it's costing me time now, which is one of the reasons there hasn't been a ZitaFTP server release. I've spent about 2 weeks on this already. But in the long term, it should pay off. I should be able to focus more on improving the product rather than doing the manually building releases and switching between the Windows and the Amiga version. And I do plan to support other operating systems too, so it'll only get worse. The switching back and forth costs time as well, because I've noticed every time, invariably, if I work on the Windows version, invariably I've done something that might hurt the Amiga version and vice versa. So that's hopefully now no longer a problem because I will know, because of the automated rebuilds, I will know when that happens. Anyway, I will update you on ZitaFTP server in the next video, so keep an eye on that next week. Until then, I hope you stay safe and stay well and healthy despite the pandemic that's still with us. And see you next time.